sinners, and saints. Dust off those horns and halos. It's time for Alan After Dark.
I can't believe we're going to have to go over this again. But after this week, we're just going to have to. So listen up and listen good, all you straight men out there. Every gay guy in town doesn't want you. No gay guy in town wants you. Despite what you might think, you're not all that and a biscuit. You're not even the biscuit. So get it out of your thick head and the little head that every guy that sucks a dick wants to suck yours. You may be wondering, sinners and saints, why I'm talking about this again. Well, it's because something happened this week. You all know that I am open and out, but at this stage in my life, I don't go around just saying it. I just live my life. And if somebody asks me, then I tell them the truth. If they don't, we're all good. I don't cover anything up. I don't hide anything, but I don't throw it out there either. So most people that I work with pretty much know that I'm gay. If they don't, they're blind, deaf, and, well, just ignorant, I guess. Being open like that, it kind of gives you a better idea and understanding of how people will react to you. I know the people who don't like me just because I'm gay. They don't ever say anything, but their behavior, their facial expressions, their attitudes toward me are different than somebody who doesn't even really think about it and doesn't really care. So I just found it very puzzling that as I was leaving from work and heading toward the elevator, there was a guy also walking in that same direction. He works on a different floor, but we happened to be on the same floor at this point. He looked back to see who was behind him, and it was me. And he suddenly reaches in for his phone and stops and goes, "Oh, excuse me." And I step around him. I'm like, "No problem." And I head on toward the elevator. We have two elevators there, and the one that opened for me to get on is what I consider the slow one. Even when I push the floor button, it takes a little bit of time for the door to close and it starting to move. In that time, he comes through the doors to where the elevators are, and the door hasn't closed yet. And he goes, "Oh, okay, I guess I'll get on. I'm usually really slow and everything." And I'm like, what is the problem with this? I mean, it's just an elevator ride. Let me just describe him, okay? Middle-aged, dopey, bit of a beer belly, double chin, wire rim glasses. Not exactly Henry Cavill, okay? And I know I don't want to judge somebody based on looks because you can't help it, but when somebody gives me attitude, you know, the claws come out and the fangs come out. So I realized when he was hesitant to get on the elevator, but he did get on, that he had a problem with me. And you're right, I don't know for sure that it's because I'm gay and he's afraid of something, but I couldn't come up with any other reason why he would behave that way. It's not that we have interactions at work. We don't deal with each other at all. We're just aware of each other in totally different departments. And I just got to thinking once again, when a straight guy finds out that there's a gay guy that works in a department or something, they automatically assume, "Oh, I've got to be careful because he'll want to touch my wiener." Jesus Christ. I know that stems from the male perspective. And as I've said 1,000 times, men are pigs. And straight guys are just simply afraid that a gay guy will treat them, look at them, talk to them the way that they will talk to women. But here's the thing about the male ego. They really do want gay men's attention. They really do want to be able to complain to other straight men, "Dude, God, this homo is trying to get out of my pants. He wants to get me really bad. He thinks I'm the hottest thing since sliced bread," which I never understood that. Have you ever understood that old saying? I don't get it. I don't. Anyway, we're on the elevator going up to the floor that we're parked on, and I just didn't even try. I looked straight ahead, looking at the number on the elevator, anxious for it to get to the floor I needed to get off on, and stepped off and went on my way. I was just like, the nerve of you, you fucking shithead, to even have the audacity, the gall to think that I would find you attractive and want to do you there in the elevator. Have you ever done it in an elevator? I really haven't. How would that work though? You could get busted anytime, any place. Oh, that's the reason why people do it, I guess. It's the risk you're taking. Okay. I guess as long as there's no security cameras filming it, I guess you can get away with it until the door's open. But, my luck would be is the door's open, I'm on my knees sucking a dick, and it's going to be a priest, a nun, a Jehovah's Witness, and a Baptist minister who would probably want to jump in and participate. You know how they are. If their dicks were as big as their ego, we could call them Long Dong Silver.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, what?
I know guys out there who are like me, who like to suck dick. You've had plenty of encounters, experiences with straight men, married men in particular, I'm sure, right? And it just occurred to me, isn't it something like if you're having an affair with a straight married man? Well, actually, in any kind of relationship like that where the person is married, isn't it something how they will lie to their spouse? They come up with all these cover stories, excuses, and so on. But if you're the other man or the other woman, you get the absolute truth, don't you? Except for when it's about your relationship with that person. I know that probably in a lot of cases, the married man will, in the throes of passion, will say that they're going to leave their spouse for you. And that's usually a lie. That's rarely true. Wouldn't you all agree? Can I get an amen up in here? Thank you. But I always found that to be the most interesting part, how when they were talking to you about almost anything connected with your relationship, they didn't hesitate to hurt your feelings or be direct with you, as almost as if your feelings didn't matter in the situation, which I guess, well, in my case, my feelings didn't matter because I didn't really care about them so deeply on an emotional level that it mattered. I knew up front that there was no long-term relationship possibilities. So why worry with it? But that is a fascinating thing to think about, isn't it? How if you're the other guy and they are lying to their wives to sneak off and hook up with you, they are more interested in sparing the wife's feelings than they are yours. Then again, the wife in a divorce could get the house, half the money, the kids, virtually everything, because I'm pretty sure we've talked about this before. A lot of the judges in this country don't like gay men too much. And when it comes to divorce settlements and things like that, you can almost guarantee that if the reason you're getting divorced is because the guy's gay, that the judge is going to be more harsh on you than you would ever expect if you were straight. Oh, let's not forget this too. Have you guys noticed that when you are with a quote unquote straight married man, that they're almost always bottoms? Isn't that interesting? I think it has something to do probably in the area of Freudian science. I believe that usually as a married straight man, you are the boss, you're the head of the family, you're always in control, you have to be the problem solver, the money maker, yada, yada, yada. And so when it comes to their gay boyfriends, they don't want to be in charge. They don't want to be in control. They want to be dominated in certain ways. I found this personality trait also in football players, believe it or not. Oh my goodness. That defensive end from Carson Newman. Oops, I shouldn't have said the name of the college, should I? Lord have mercy. Just this big, burly, butch dude. And when we hit the sheets, he's wanting me to plow his ass like it's the last 5 acres in the lower 40 that haven't been plowed in 7 years. Suddenly it got hot in here. Oh, Jesus. But let's be honest about the whole thing. If you're looking for just sexual release and pleasure, married men are probably a good bet. But if you're thinking about some sort of long-term relationship with someone who's married, you might want to just end that right away, right now, before it even gets started, actually, because they're not going to leave that other person. If they were going to leave that person, they would have done it already. Just remember that, okay? If you really are looking for something that's more substantial and long-term, you best be looking elsewhere. How many other ways can I say that to get it through your head? Cruising. I'm sure it's the same as it was, 15 years ago before there were really these hookup apps and things. And it just came back to me one time. And we all know, you all know the malls, the men's rooms in certain retail stores seem to be a haven for cruising, for blowjobs and stalls. But sometimes it is just to go in and pee. There was this one time I had to go in, and it was a Sears men's room. Had to go in, and the way the bathroom was structured, you had like two urinals and then the stalls to your left. So I was at the urinal next to the stall, the closest one to the first stall. And I'm pissing, and all of a sudden I hear, yeah, oh yeah, put it in my ass. All the way in my ass. Yeah, yeah. I'm like, what the fuck is going on over there? And the guy yells out, oh shit, fuck, god damn it. And then I was like, well, damn, it sounded like somebody was having a fucking good time over there. Now I just realized you're just beating off to a porn video and you accidentally hit the volume button. Well, shit. Yeah, I was disappointed. I know what you're going to ask. You wanted to jump in, didn't you? Well, kind of wanted to watch. I mean, I have a little bit of voyeurism in me. Okay, I have a whole lot of voyeurism in me. I like to watch. What can I say? It's one of those kinks I have. Everybody should have a kink or two or three or 400 or 69. Whoops. That was said on purpose. Y'all know that. What the fuck am I saying whoops for? Jesus. But it has been my experience with married men that a lot of times they have been watching a lot of gay porn, and when you're fooling around, hooking up, banging, whatever you want to call it, they will imitate the porns they've seen. They will verbalize some of the dialogue. And I've mentioned it before, but sometimes I've recognized the porn they were watching based on what they've said. And I don't know. I just kind of go with the flow on that. I mean, obviously, I'm a porn watcher. I bear no judgment on anybody who watches it, or if you don't. To each their own, in my opinion. But I think that once married straight guys start watching the porn, they want to live it out themselves. And, that's part of the fantasy, isn't it? We all have fantasies. Some are dark, some are not so dark. And if you have suppressed yourself and are truly hiding yourself through a heterosexual marriage, when you get the chance to unleash, you're going to go hog wild. If you haven't had a lot of encounters with other guys, you're probably going to think that pornography is what guys might like. And we got to be honest about it too. Most of us got our first exposure to gay sex through pornography. At least my generation did. I certainly did. The first gay porn I ever watched was an older movie called Chip Off the Old Block. And it had some of the hot stars of the time. It was very badly filmed. I mean, it was so dark in places you could hardly see. But that first gay porn that I watched, it kind of instilled the fetish that I have for tighty whities. And that video also had a glory hole scene. And that led to my fascination with glory holes, even though I've only seen in my whole life just a couple. Yeah, believe it or not, despite all of my experiences, I am quite unexposed to a lot of different things. I know y'all find that hard to believe, but I'm actually telling the truth. This is my podcast and it's my confession. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I feel so much better now. Slap my ass and call me Judy. Oh, and that's not dialogue from that first movie I watched, okay? Just FYI, all right? Remember that. But y'all know that you can watch as much gay porn as you want, and it's still not going to be an adequate teacher for real life experiences. You got to start somewhere, and hopefully, it is just a physical expression of your lust or love or attraction to that person. But to me, just saying that proves homosexuality, our sexual identity, is something that originates in the DNA at birth. All of us gay guys and lesbian women and bisexual people, we were primarily taught in schools in biology about reproduction, heterosexual sex. Everything that we were exposed to throughout our elementary, high school years, maybe even up into college, is about heterosexual sex. So we have no exposure to gay sex in those environments, but yet we're still gay. That kind of just adds to my belief and truly adds to the evidence that people are born differently with different sexual identities. And it's society and religion and culture that guilts gay men into marrying women out of the fear of the repercussions for just being a regular gay man. How different the world would be if homosexuality was considered the normal biology and heterosexuality was the freaks. That would be a hoot and a half, wouldn't it? That world would be, well, it'd be fabulous probably, but it would be very different, wouldn't it? What do you guys think about that? You think I'm barking up the wrong tree? Am I sucking on the wrong dick when it comes to that observation? All this because a straight guy was hesitant to get on an elevator with me. Oh, brings new meaning to love in an elevator, doesn't it? Damn, that was about the stupidest thing I've ever said, isn't it? Love in an elevator? What the fuck? Thank you for joining me for this really weird, fucked up episode of Alan After Dark. I hope you've had a little bit of fun. I have. But then again, I might be high. Remember, take life by the balls and be real. We'll see you soon.
Yeehaw!